talk, Creed?
Check one.
Yeah, keep that level, like, you know.
Check one. All right.
All right, whenever you're ready.
We must be ready for a new danger.
Yo, my name is Chameleon, represent DOTWAV.
Hold on, let me think. I gotta think real quick. Be comfortable, bro.
All right, hold on. I'm nervous. I just took a hit of the Benjamin, so. Yo, man, what up, man? I'm Benny Digital, part of DOTWAV. Note to self.
It's your boy Dime, and it's 69999999996. My name's Paradigm. State your name.
KennFrancis. DOTWAV is a hip-hop collective based out of Las Vegas.
It's a bunch of us in here, man. It's my brother Bombs. We got Chameleon. We got Paradigm. We got KennFrancis, Jojo Flow, and we got DJ Good Vibe.
DOTWAV is a super crew.
So DOTWAV represents just the highest form of quality when it comes to just anything that we, like drive and project as far as creativity.
The name is the wave concept, right? Like the ocean. Also like the wave file, right? With those two things being, very big and impactful things. Like a wave file is the highest form of quality in music. The ocean being, I think it's like, covers more of the earth, I think, or something like that. I don't know.
The wave represents, just like how the ocean is, the current, and being the fact that we're all, Pacific Islanders, Asian Americans, we represent that, to the fullest, and we move as one. We got ties from east side of Las Vegas, all over Hawaii. We're a crew, we're a family that does it all. Create music, create beats.
And we just make content, make good music, make art, get together. We're more like a family, actually, but.
My man Ken does like graphic design, the clothing aspect of it.
Performers, photographers, videographers, graphic designers, you name it, we all do it.
We basically do everything, man, except dance. Some of us can dance, but we're not a dance crew. We don't sing either.
Bombs is a dope-ass videographer out here in Vegas, based in Hawaii too. Make sure to hit him up for the videos and shit. Paradigm, man, he produces, raps his ass off and shit. Vibe, dope-ass spinner. Jojo Flow, cool-ass producer. And Creed is the manager.
The crew collectively is a wave, which could be like something, like growing up in Hawaii, it's just something beautiful to look at, but also probably one of the most dangerous forces of nature. If you're not careful, if you don't respect it, it could kill your ass.
Bombs. Ooh. One word. Fuck, that's hard as shit.
So for Bombs, definitely like the dude's an assassin. I mean, like just his demeanor, the way that he moves, it's just like, he's smiling, but he's already got a plan.
Bombs. Vision, for sure.
Multifaceted. Is that one word? I don't know, but that boy does it all. Like from not just making music, but like the whole engineering process. Like bro can literally go mix and record a song, write the song in a day, and then go film a video of himself and post it online in the same day, which is incredible to me. Yeah.
That's the killer. Everyone in the crew is a killer, but he probably gonna be the first one to go.
Good vibe, funny and loving.
Reliable, trustworthy, super talented DJ as well. And he's like, that's the X factor, dude.
Good vibe's a good vibe. Genuine.
since I met Good Vibe, he's always been a great guy. Like I've never had a reason for him for anybody to be mad at him. So I would just say he's a great person all around.
Creed Chameleon. Hip hop legend. Hip hop Hawaii legend. Cadence always go crazy. Bars always go crazy.
He is a legend. That's the word that I'm gonna use. Legend.
Cadence. I'll say cadence. And I say that because his flow is probably the best flow in HI, out of HI, hands down, when it comes to this rap shit, 100%.
Always there for people.
Benny. That's the swag of the crew. It's the swag. He brings the swag. Talented freestyler. And definitely comes with the bars as well.
My motherfucking dog. Look, Benny's a fucking genius. Benny's a genius.
Should be called Benny Lyrical. Dude's very articulate with the freestyling and wordplay, so and a dope, talented photographer as well.
Benny Digital he's got the vision. So vision is what I would say.
Paradigm, man, that's my brother, dog. Dope and understanding.
Paradigm. You know one thing with him, the dude's a genius. I mean, he may bar out with a lot of dope delivery and cadence, but he's really musically inclined. And I will say I consider everybody out of the crew as some way of a shape or form to sharpen me, but if anything, Dime kind of pushes me on that lyricism level.
Whew, that boy got bars. I would just say he is crafty, very crafty with his words.
Smooth flow. Creative flow. And let's see, as far as just witty with the bars, man.
KennFrancis. Fashion and wordplay. Yeah. If I could choose two words, I would choose. It's tied between those two. Yeah, for sure.
For some reason, man, we think alike. It's weird, but I would say just the word for him and I would be serendipitous. Pause.
The strategist always has some type of plan in place, looks at every detail, make sure that it's perfect. And the dude's a fucking good dude, genuine dude. He's like a brother to myself and others. But yeah, all in a nutshell, man.
Precise.
Jojo Flow. Yeah, the dude's a prodigy. I mean, young legend. I know that a lot of the crew said that, but for such a young age, I feel the dude's on our level, which always will amaze me, and but yeah, I'm super proud of the dude, and yeah, that's Jojo Flow.
It's a prodigy, man. He is talented in almost every way, so.
Young legend. Super talented producer and DJ and hard worker, dude.
Yeah, that boy's a prodigy.
Young legend.
From my perspective, I moved out to Vegas on some personal shit. I was making music back home with Creed already. And it was a huge coincidence to me that he was out here. It wasn't planned or anything like that. And then throughout that year, Creed would hit me up to make music, and I was just going through personal stuff, so I wasn't always able to make it out type of thing, but finally I was able to get over some humps in the road and stuff like that. And yeah, once I linked up with Creed again, then I reconnected with Bombs. I actually met Bombs when I was a kid over the internet. Basically just hitting him up for music advice. I was making music for a long time. So, you know, that all kind of just fell into place type of thing. But yeah, it all started with Creed pretty much hitting me up. That he coincidentally moved out here too around the same time.
So I've been following and been a fan of Creed and Bombs for years. And I saw that they had a show here in Las Vegas. And I decided to go, all right, let's go. I'm going to go finally check them out. Like, pause. I'm going to finally go check out one of their shows and finally introduce myself to them. So I went to their show, introduced myself. They were super dope, very welcoming. And at the time, I wasn't even doing music anymore. I took a break from music, about 4 years. And I was just working on Soon. And I went to check out the event just to see if there's connections I could make as far as pushing the clothing brand. And it was Bombs who, not only at that time, but over the years when I wasn't doing music, who kept pushing me to continue to do music. And he told Creed about me. And this is what I remember. So after I met Creed, this guy kept inviting me to check out the studio. And for some reason, every time he invited, I think it was like 3 times, I was busy with something. On the 3rd time, I told myself, like, all right, if he invites me one more time, like, I gotta just drop everything and just go. Like, this is an opportunity, right? Like, I've always wanted to, like, work with Creed as far as, like musically. And so I got the invite, pulled up. I didn't even plan or intend to record anything. I just wanted to be in the studio.
So we started off just pulling up to the Go Ahead Watch video. Creed and Bombs was filming that dope shit. And we just went over there to support. I met Dime that day. And I didn't even know that I was going to like hit it off with Dime like that either. And then how I got into the crew was just freestyling in front of Capuso on like a drunk ass night and shit. And they just told me to come in the stew. And that was it from there, bro.
They were working on a track called Fremont Street Experience. And I'm listening to them record, and they tell me, like, yo, you want to hop on this one? I'm like, fuck yeah. So we bang out the track, and then after that, we just continue to do music. We pull up to one of their video shoots, Go Ahead Watch, connect a bit more, and continue to hit the studio. And then before you know it, the crew was starting to form with everyone. Benny joined in. And then, yeah, things took off from there.
Originally it was like me and Bombs, like we were kind of working together, like, you know, if we want to take it back more, you know, we started connecting dots like back in the HI. I moved out here a couple of years ago, connected with, you know, Bombs out here, and we started making music. And, you know, through like a lot of the shows and, you know, like-minded artists in the city, like, you know, I was able to connect with KennFrancis, which is also a 9-4 block native. We got, you know, Paradigm that I've been making music with, like back in the HI. Benny Digital, super talented photographer, can freestyle his fucking ass off. And, you know, it's dope that we just all connected. And also like the young legend, Jojo Flow, being able to just connect with him, you know, through the lineage of like Hawaii hip hop generations. That's how we all connected, and yeah, and that's how we formulated DOTWAV.
All right, so as far as shows, the one that stands out for me is Tidal Wave back in Hawaii. So I moved from Hawaii back in 2007 and continued to do music for a few years after I moved. But I remember just feeling like, man, I wish I was doing this back home, right? I felt like I left Hawaii before I could really make a name for myself back home. And so to go back home and perform with this crew meant a lot to me. It's the first time I got to perform in front of my parents, family, friends, and to do it at this level on that stage was dope as hell. And then as far as videos, it's on that same trip. The video that means a lot to me is Hometown. It's just the backstory on that is crazy, and to go back home and finally shoot a visual for that song, and to have like my brothers in it, like I'm always gonna like, that's gonna mean a lot to me forever.
Living legends for me. Why? Because those are just some people that I looked up to growing up. We went through a lot of obstacles that day. I just remember that day kind of vividly. Just a hard day, but we just kind of pulled through, and everything just worked out in our favor. Got a lot of new eyes on us, and I feel like it's taken off from here.
I know the crowd wasn't there. I think it was last November when we did Arizona, our first Arizona festival going around. But that was such a fun time, man. Like, even though things didn't work out with a certain member, it was a great time. Just like even after the show, like that's what you call bonding, you know. Like we bonded over a lot of shit. So that was one of just right at the top of my head, the first Arizona show.
Yeah, so for sure, Living Legends was like a good checkpoint for us, you know. It was a pretty packed out show. We were opening for people that we all look up to, we all listen to. And yeah, we got a lot of new listeners and stuff like that from that show, I think.
What we have accumulated as far as like accolades and accomplishments, we were able to be self-sufficient in the way that we were doing not just only our music, but also video production, engineering, and then also just doing our own events, and then even just like jumping on some big shows that we would never think of like jumping on, but within a short amount of time, the crew and I just united, and we just like moved. Yeah, and it's definitely like something that through the years and decades that I've been doing this music shit, like it's the most fastest and more efficient like crew that I've been with. So and it's not just a crew, and it's not just a music group that we just get together and just do shit like on some like creative stuff, but we're family, and I think that's what separates us from the rest of the artists out here, and even in the world in general.
So the biggest growth that I see for everybody will have to be the trust part, trust in our vision, trust in our opinions, and just letting that double down on that.
To me personally, I think just the bars, like the actual lyrics. If you listen to Meanwhile in LA, even the first DOTWAV tape, there's for sure a level up in the way we write.
So I feel like when we got together, it was just we just pretty much got a bunch of talented people, brought them all together, and just started creating without fully understanding everyone's strengths. And I feel like over the past couple years or so of working together, we've got to fully understand what everyone does, their strengths, their certain styles. And I guess when working on this latest project, it came together a lot more. It's a lot more cohesive, and everything just makes more sense.
What's the dopest thing about being in DOTWAV?
The dopest thing. So, for me personally, I've worked with people on music before, but never had a whole crew to rely on and work with. This is the first group of friends and family that are truly like-minded, and it just makes it easier to create because they understand exactly what I'm going through, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, why this matters to me. And I think that goes a long way as far as just being an artist. And not only do they understand like what it is to be an artist, but these guys are also like genuine people.
It truly is an escape. This is a family, you know? So I've been in a lot of bands and stuff like that, or groups. I've made a lot of group efforts throughout the years and stuff like that. And it's not easy to get people on the same page. So I mean, it's a blessing that we're all able to easily get along and, you know, work cohesively.
For some reason, we just moved together like efficiently, like as a current, like, you know, like as a wave, and not trying to sound corny, but that shit works, you know what I mean? And literal less arguments, you know what I mean? We run into personal obstacles, but we pick each other up, you know what I mean?
Right now we're more serious when it comes to like putting out music or putting out content, and we're close enough where we can judge each other, not in any malicious way or any way that would hurt one's feelings, but we're comfortable enough to say, yo, do it like this, or switch it up, or no, let's not do that at all. And I think that's a big progression when it comes to crew. And I think when we do meetings and when we have like little conversations about certain things, that's what helps us because we grow through all of that.
You know, I've always been like that one guy, like, you know, in the scene, just being very like, you know, humble, like, you know, very like, you know, positive, you know, just like want to make sure that I engage, you know, build relationships. But, you know, in this, you know, industry, it's a very dog world, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, like sometimes it, you know, rubs the wrong way. And, you know, for people in the industry or even people in the scene, like I feel like I can speak for everyone. It's just that it's something that is always like, you know, you want to say it, but you can't because of this, and this, or politics. So I feel like with this project, like I was able to just express how I feel, like as far as like, you know, like just, you know, heartaches, you know, like breakups within the crew, you know, certain people that, you know, like we don't fuck with anymore in the scene. And, you know, I mean, I'm gonna be like, you know, transparent with that shit just because like, you know, I wanna make sure that motherfuckers know that like I've always been like that nice dude, always trying to like, you know, lend a helping hand, but when motherfuckers like try to like bite the hand that feeds them, like I don't tolerate that fucking shit. And not try to sound cocky or sound like I'm fucking like high up there, but I feel like it's very disrespectful. And, you know, I think this project made me just project some of those feelings, and I'm super excited for it just because it's such a creative album of how we're doing it. And yeah, I just can't wait to share it to the world.
Just thinking how I could relate to people, or people could relate to me, sorry. Just thinking of hurtful shit, bro, like pain, honestly, and just being able to like transcend that.
I forget what happened, but it was early January when a certain member left the crew for the stupidest reasons, man. And I'm gonna be open about it. It pissed me off, so I'm like, yo, let's dedicate a whole album to this motherfucker.
So I feel like, all right, I'm gonna start off like this. Last year, beginning of the year of 2023, we set a goal to kill it every month, basically kill it the entire year, which we did. And we gained a lot of traction in doing so. But another thing we gained, we also gained a whole lot of obstacles with that. A whole lot of all new challenges. And I feel like, and also we had some stuff to deal with within the crew as well. And my whole motivation and my whole motivation while working on the album was channeling those emotions, these new emotions that we're feeling after seeing some success, right? And expressing them in a form that like the only way I know, basically, which is rapping. Those emotions were a lot of frustration, anger. I felt like these were just new challenges as an artist, as a crew. And to be honest, working on it with my brothers, I sensed the same emotions from them as they were writing, as they were picking out beats, and like I ended up like absorbing those same emotions and then pouring it out onto the verses.
So there were two things, right? The first thing, I think we all can agree upon. Like we had some issues within the crew that we got out of the crew, and we needed an outlet to express that. And I was upset. I was hurt. I got a text message that I didn't like. I thought it was bullshit. The bars was so good from all of the crew members that like I was just trying to be as good as them. Like I was just trying to compete and be on my A game. That's what was going through my head. It definitely let me get some shit off my chest. Shit that is just over with now, that I've had to bite my tongue with for a long time, and finally everything exploded and I had an outlet to express myself with that. So
I think the vibe of the project, consists of a lot of dope, like production, of course. Like it all stems from there's some jazzy shit on there, there's some boom bap, there's even some hard, grimy shit on there. But I think what's dope is that we collectively on the project just straight up, got creative in the way of how we were, layering the tracks. And it's not the typical 16 bar, 8 bar verse, 8 bar chorus, 16 bar verse. It was a different medley to it. So it was a cohesive project all in all.
So it'd be heartfelt and dope.
Ooh, it's some hard hip hop shit. If you like rap music, if you like bars, creativity, good beats, you're gonna love this shit.
Overall vibe of this project is definitely some hard hip hop. Hard hip hop, good music.
Dark, but it's relatable.
They can look forward to some dope bars from everyone in the crew, dope beat selection, some great concepts as far as music, and just there's something on the album for everyone.
Well, I already know 2 bitch ass motherfuckers are gonna be eyes in, zoned in on that shit. Just know that shit is for you, bro, and we mean every fucking word, bro. You could look forward to some straight hip hop shit, man, and some real shit.
If you loved Meanwhile in LA, it's the complete opposite of that project, where Meanwhile in LA has certain points where it's it does go hard, it does go a little more aggressive, but this whole thing is basically all of that. You can still vibe out, you can still listen to certain songs where it's like, oh, okay, cool, but the message is always there. We stick to the message. We stick to like hard lyricism. The whole project has no miss, no skips. So I'm excited for you guys to hear this.
There's a lot to look forward to on the project as far as relatability, you know, because we've all gone through shit where, you know, we've all gone through some disagreements with people in our lives. We've had to deal with shady people in our lives, right? You know, biting the hand that feeds you. And so, yeah, you're gonna relate to it a lot.
Favorite 2 tracks?
Oh shit, I should have thought about this. My favorite 2 tracks would be Grandmama and Neglected, because Grandmama is such an anthem. I feel like it's everyone's gonna be fucking playing it, and then Neglected is just us getting deep, and basically the whole message of the whole album. It sums it all up in that one song. So listen to that one.
Damn, that's a fucking hard one. I'm gonna say my favorite one is gonna definitely be Oof. I think that was the one track that set precedence to like how this project kind of started. And the second one, it's a toss because there's a lot of good shit on this album, but I will say Neglected.
Zip Pack and Durango.
Ooh, I hate this fucking question. Durango, probably one of them, yeah. It's hard. Fresh New Chucks is such a good song, man. That's an honorary mention for me. I'm gonna say Neglected. And I say Neglected because, you know, that one got really personal, and personally to me, I like that kind of shit.
Favorite 2 tracks? Whatever You Want and Grandmama.
I feel like I was trying to capture the real like rugged shit, and kind of just really describe what we're talking about and like the whole vibe of the album.
The beats are produced. It was a little. I was a little happier than everybody else, I guess, because the majority of the theme of this album is something that I can relate to, like in my music. Like it's a lot of hard, dark, more towards like aggression. So when we decided to create this album, I was more than happy to dish out so much beats. We chose a bunch. We even took out some. But shouts out to Jojo as well and Osna. They provided exactly the same thing. So they were Osna was basically the first one to kind of like give us some beats on it. But overall, we all kind of like just decided on everything. So even though it was my beats, Jojo's beats, or Osna's beats, everyone's decision was on each beat. So there's nothing that I said, oh, we gotta do this. Everyone was agreeing on everything.
This was earlier this year. So to my understanding, we weren't even planning on doing another album for a while. But we were still intended on creating music. From what I remember, it started when Osna came into town. Shout out to Os. And he brought some beats and played it for the crew. And this was at the time I was out of town. So I heard Os was in town, the crew got together, laced up some beats, and they sent me, the reference tracks. And I'm like, yo, this shit is hard. And while I was like on a trip, I got to writing. And before you know it, the trip, I was only away for maybe like 3-4 days. But within that short period, about 3 or 4 songs already got started, like got kicked off. And started writing to it. Before you know it, like we gained a lot of traction as far as just creating. Like we were creating like super quick, and we were all motivated by the things that we were going through, and as a crew collectively, we just decided, you know what, like we're compiling these tracks pretty quick, and I think we can continue to keep banging them out pretty quick. Let's just turn this into an album. And when we got into album mode, like everyone locked in like right away, and yeah, and then This Just Ain't Fun Anymore was created.
The thing I love about this project specifically is that it didn't start like we weren't set on making a project. It started off with just hanging out and making music. You know, I think we might have got a song or something like that, but it was like there's no project was talked about until we locked in a studio session, and we had at least like 3 or 4 joints. We're like, hey, this all kind of fits with each other. We're all talking about the same shit. Let's just make a project. And yeah, I love that shit.
So this project started when a little birdie left, bro, and I think it just started with like Creed sending one song, and we're like, yo, fuck yeah, that's a dope ass like concept. Challenges, yeah, man, just writing. There was a lot of like, that was kind of tough to just keep on writing because we did it in a pretty good, timely manner. For me personally, it's just because I'm doing a bunch of other like creative stuff, and it's just hard to like really just zone in on one thing. But like, if I use that as an outlet when it comes to the mind, like if I can't figure out what to do with a video or figure out how to like shoot a photo or what I want to do, I would just go straight to writing, and that usually works out.
So we had an idea to create an album for this, and then Osna was here one day. Shouts out to Osnizzle. He gave us some beats. It was all like the beats that we could associate with this theme, and we just started barring out. We started rapping, and then we're like, yo, let's add this to the album. The process was not as fast as we did in Meanwhile in LA, but this one is actually a bit more better because we got to express our creativity, our opinions on certain tracks, on certain ways to do things. We got critical with a lot of stuff, the mixing, down to the lyrics, down to the beats, what we should take off, what we should add. It was a really long process, but it was worth it.
I think like with the project, This Just Ain't Fun Anymore was just, it was a comment that was said to me during a real interaction, you know, through separation and whatnot. And I feel that phrase was just a culmination of like, just what I went through with a lot of like, you know, things that I gone through with my music career. And I feel like, you know, with this music and passion, you know, it's fun and all, right? But there's definitely like some sacrifices, some, you know, hard work that you got to put into. But I think like just that phrase itself is like in life in general, you know what I mean? Like, you know, sometimes you just got to put in the work, right? And sometimes things ain't fun. But I think what's fun in general is how we created this project all in all. And I'm super stoked to share it with all of y'all.
Oh man, it felt really good, man. Just because, you know, when I first got into DOTWAV, they already had the first mixtape was done basically, and I was on Nobody Else, and I performed that song for a long time. You know what I mean? So when we got into Meanwhile in LA, I, you know, got sprinkled in a little bit more. And this project, I felt like I was really involved and truly a part of the creation of the music and stuff like that.
I think one, it's gonna be in your face. And I think second, it's gonna be very musically inclined to any type of audience and ears out there.
I think that if the shoe fits, you'd be offended. And if it don't fit, you're just gonna love it because it's good music.
Go fuck yourself.
It just ain't fun anymore.
This just ain't fun anymore.
This just ain't funny anymore, motherfucker. This just ain't funny anymore.
And if you do something, if you say something really crazy about us after this album drops, I know where you fuckers live.
This just ain't funny anymore.
Go listen to the fucking album.
Yeah.